such a joy. What a privilege it is to gather together in community, sharing the joys, sharing the struggles, being together. My name is the Reverend Samaya Oakley, and my pronouns are she, her, and hers. We are Canadian Unitarians, Canadian Universalists, and Canadian Unitarian Universalists. Some of us are atheists. Some of us are mystics. Some of us humanists, others pagans. No matter your theology, we gather around 8 principles, 6 sources, and 5 aspirations. And I want you to know from the depths of my heart that all of you is welcome into this place. Whatever your orientation, theological belief, age, stage of life, or anything else that makes you uniquely you, you are welcome here. And a particular welcome for those of you who are attending online. We'll be waving to you at the end, but just know that I welcome you into this space. And for those of you who are attending for the very first time this Sunday, we're delighted you're with us. Today's service wraps up a sermon series looking at community. Over this month, we've reflected on why it matters to belong in community, what being in community means. And last week, we looked at the spiritual gifts of discomfort that arise in community. So today, we go deeper and look at how we can expand our view of community to include all of the beings who live on Mother Earth. We are blessed with Adrienne Adams, a recently new member of Calgary Unitarians, who's agreed to share some of her poetry with us today. This practice of making acknowledgements of the treaty and the lands we live on is a deep reminder of our responsibility and our obligations to the land and to Indigenous peoples. It also reminds us of our accountability to address the ongoing impacts of colonization that are felt disproportionately by Indigenous peoples and communities. We are being taught that the best way to do this is to personalize it. Adrienne has a poem that gets to the very heart of what it means to do this in a good way. Adrienne.
Thank you. So I'm going to read my poem, The Long Gone. I just want to clarify, it's not a land acknowledgement per se, but it does at least partially definitely comes out of thinking about land acknowledgements and our responsibilities to the land, as well as other things in our relationships. So, The Long Gone. The land on my Giddo's farm up north looks so much like the farms and everything is illuminated. With sunshine so dappled, 100 trees so wide, I wrap my arms around a girth equal to my life cut and quartered at 16. They chopped Memorial Drive down too when I was a kid, for fear the trees would grow legs and stampede the cars to non-existence. Sometimes I wish the ants were real. I can sit for hours at their base, gazing up at the lambent sky, green shading brightness from full view, and feel how they reach and reach down into the ground to the other side of the earth. I am a Jules Verne trip embodied in one being, stretching from Alberta to Scotland and Ireland, across Galicia to the Adriatic Sea, meandering blood through Austria and Poland to come back here, full circle in Niitsitapi and Nehiwak land my ancestors took refuge in. Here, at the convergence of the bow and the elbow, what has disintegrated to dusk? We are all bones tied together in a narrow marrow of longing. I hug this timber, look up at the great blue bowl, which holds us, walk worn sage paths so innocent and tainted, settling time, memory nosing breaths into hills of uncertainty on Nose Hill, watch fall burnish me to a golden warmth I sip for comfort by a fire shared with myriad conversations in dialogue with people and land, ghosts, terror, truth, beauty. Whose story? No longer running, but here, wondering at this cloak of lightness and darkness, which informs our beings, permeates history, our waking and walking and making and talking. We eat the sun, absorb the past. Come, here, take my hand, love a long longing for land. Write new memorials, glint shadows round, arbor light. Okay, so, and it is in the spirit of loving and a long longing for land that we light our chalice to begin our time of worship together.
Our opening song this morning, I've Got Peace Like a River. It's not quite like the one in the hymnal, so we'll use the words that are on the slide. And this was chosen with the children in the room in mind. So allow your inner child to be a bit silly as we get slightly faster and faster with each verse, potentially tripping over the words by the time we reach the end. Please stand in body and or spirit and join your voices with mine. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. Got peace like a river in my soul. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river. I've got peace like a river in my soul. Got love like the ocean, I got love like the ocean. Love like the ocean in my soul. Ocean, I got love like the ocean. I got love like the ocean in my soul. I got joy like the mountain, I got joy like the mountain, I got joy like my soul. I got joy like the mountain, I got joy like the mountain in my soul. I've got some joy like a river, some joy like a river. I've got some like a river in my soul. Some joy like a river, some joy like a river. I've got some like a river in my soul.
Hi, I'm Kathy Welburn, storyteller, she, her. And this morning we're going to hear storytelling. You have to imagine that you're sitting around a fire late at night after a hard day's work and listening to the storyteller, and the pictures are going to be in your head. This is Nancy was a spider, and Nancy was a man. And Nancy was a lazy one, did little as he can. Nancy really wanted to be clever. He wanted to know everything because this was a time very long ago when the people wandered around and wondered about the secrets of the stars, and they wondered about the whispers of the wind and the song of the river. What did it all mean? How come they didn't really understand? They wanted so much to understand. And Anansi, he was just a spider, but spiders are very clever. They can climb right up the tree and back so easily. And he has a favorite tree that he went up. And he also brought these questions to the sky. And Naomi, the sky creature, heard him, and cleverly they put a pot of wisdom in the forest. Anansi kept climbing up the tree until finally he realized, actually, it's at the bottom of the tree. Aha, he said, I am so clever. He opened that pot. It was astonishing. The kind of wisdom that he took out. Soon, even people were coming around to listen to this spider. And he took on person-like qualities. That's why they called him Anansi the Spider-Man. He would advise you on any problems you had and give you great ideas for all of your visions of a better life. But after a while, Anansi noticed that not all the people actually did what he interpreted the wisdom to be. And he was getting really annoyed. I told them exactly what to do. I explained it all. I got it right from this pot, okay? And what are they doing? Oh, they're so foolish. You know, they don't deserve the wisdom. I am going to get all that wisdom and put it back. And so he traveled all over Africa, especially Western Africa, and he took all the wisdom and put it back in that pot. And he said, I'm going to hide it. I'm going to hide it from humans. They're not ready for this. And so he got into his spider mode, tied the pot around him, and started to climb up the very tallest tree in West Africa. He was getting kind of tired. And Nancy, by the way, had a very big family and a wonderful wife. So down below, the kids were watching their dad. They always were a little worried about him. Dad, if you put the pot on your back, like, could you put it on your back? Then it will be easier for you. What did you say? And I said, you kids are telling me something? I got all the wisdom. It's in here. And now the kids are giving me some wisdom? Who knew? So he was so upset with this that he was trying to scurry up the tree almost to the top, when all of a sudden the pot went spiraling right around the entire continent of Africa, smashed down on the peak of a mountain, and smithereens of it traveled to every single part of the world. And so it came to be that everyone in the world found their own wisdom, and they were doing amazing things. They learned all about the secrets of the stars. They learned all about the whisper of the wind. They learned all about the songs of the river. Anansi was a little cheesed that he no longer seemed to be getting the spotlight, and his kids seemed to be smarter than him. He thought, but he never gave up. He always was pretty ingenious. Aha, he said, do people remember where that pot came from and who gave it to the people? Hello, it was moi, Anansi the Spider, Anansi the Spider-Man. And he made sure through various media that every person in the world, and I'm just passing this on for your own enlightenment, knew that this is where the wisdom came from because of Anansi the Spider. Anansi was a spider. Anansi was a man. Anansi was a clever one. He always had a plan.
Just as you are without changing a thing. Just as you are, I said. I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in, just as you are, just as you are. Just as you are, if I'm changing nothing. Just as you are, I said. I see you, I hear you, I welcome you in, just as you are, just as you are.
Our Unitarian Universalist principles call us to seek truth and meaning, not only as individuals, but as a community united in generosity, compassion, and care. Together, we create a sanctuary of connection and purpose, nurturing both ourselves and the world. This morning's offering invites us to embody this unity. Your gifts sustain our self-supporting church, enabling us to grow as a community of healing and shared purpose. This month, we are also supporting Brown Begging for Calgary Kids, which unites our city to ensure that no child goes without lunch. With $4, they can provide a nutritious meal, offering hope and care to families in need. To direct your contribution to this cause, please note for others, as in the number, in your envelope or e-transfer. To our visitors, your presence is a gift. Please feel free to let the basket pass you by. After the basket has passed you by, you're welcome to come forward to light a candle or drop a pebble in our communal water to honor a joy or a sorrow that is resting on your heart. The gifts of this congregation, shared in love and unity, will be received with deep gratitude.
You have any idea how beautiful you are? I just look at the love and the care in this congregation, and I am so moved and so touched. At most of our services, we take time to tend to those sacred bonds that connect us, that affirm the joys and the discomfort that we face in this world. Through this, we expand our caring ministries by sharing the joys and the sorrows and the milestones in our lives and within our congregation. And into each of our lives, we have moments of joy. Those moments of joy when the simple pleasures fill our days, whether it's getting enough rest, that is a joy. Planning a video call with a loved one, or receiving the gift of kindness from a stranger. We also celebrate the joy of celebrating a father's 78th birthday and a granddaughter defending or passing their master's exam. For these and so many other kindnesses and joys that we carry in our heart, we light this candle for you. We also acknowledge that into our lives, sorrow comes. Sorrows that weigh on our hearts. The loss of a loved one. Major disappointments. A significant conflict with someone important to you. Unresolved grief. Deep worry about a loved one. Feeling isolated or alone. For these and so many other sorrows that we carry on our hearts, we light this candle for you. And lastly, we light a final candle in honor of global concerns to where so many in the world are facing the fear and the uncertainty and the injustice of deportation. Deportation means being uprooted from the lives that people have built, losing relationships and community. And as we light this candle, let us commit ourselves to a vision of a world where each person's humanity is honored. Borders are met with compassion, and justice is extended to the most vulnerable among us. There are so many elements to a service, and the one that I always love is the meditation time. So let us move into meditation with contemplative words, followed by 2 minutes of silence. And we're blessed today to have you Euphonia with us, and they will bring us out of silence. So with that, you are invited. You are invited to close your eyes if you wish. Soften your gaze. And take time to breathe. Focusing in, breathing in and breathing out. Breathing in and breathing out. And with each out breath, with your mind's eye, send your breath down through your feet through the floor, through the basement, through the floor of the basement, down into Mother Earth. Imagine roots growing from you, strong and steady, reaching deep into the soil, finding nourishment, stability, strength. Feel the earth holding you, welcoming you into this interconnected web of life. And my roots, they're reaching out. Can you feel them, Michael? Michael, can you feel my roots touching yours? And together, Michael's and I, our roots reach out and they touch Kathy, and they touch Mitch's and Francis and Christian, until eventually we are woven together as one community, creating a network of unity, of care. Those roots are stretching even further. They're connecting with all that is in the natural world, the trees and the rivers, the mountains and the oceans. Feel that pulse of life flowing through you, flowing in everything. Rooted in the earth and in each other. Let's spend time in that deep connection, in this reverent space of silence.
And you need some love and care, and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me, and soon I will be there brighten up even the darkest night.
Aren't we blessed to have such a great choir? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Christian for conducting, Gavin for the beautiful piano, Mitch. Oh my goodness, names are escaping me. Perret and Nicola. Gorgeous solos. Oh, I love it when we're able to lift up the various talents that we have in this congregation. And Adrienne and I talked a few weeks back about, and when I heard her talk about her passion for the earth and how she poured that passion into her poetry, I was intrigued and I asked her to collaborate with me on this service. And then when she sent me her poems, and believe me, there's a plethora of them to choose, and I only chose 4 of them. I wish I could have chosen more, but it's poetry that touches the soul. Her words are honest and raw, and they're deeply human. They invite us to sit with life's hardest truths and I feel the ache of disconnection in them, the pain of loss, and the urgency of caring for our world. While at the same time, she has this remarkable gift of reminding us of hope and resilience and love. Her poetry challenges us to face ourselves and our world honestly, with clear eyes, to see where we have fallen short and to find the courage to try again and again and again. She calls for us to care for one another, to care for Mother Earth, and for the connections that sustain us. And it is my hope and my desire that her words move you as they have moved me, drawing you into curiosity, vulnerability, and the brave imagining of a world bound by love and unity. Let's hear one of those poems now.
This poem is called Cost. Stillness comes with its cost of coat. A clock cast blast to the past. Fast act past red fox fact. Frilled trillion teeny tiny holes reality. Smoked the whole pack past spring howls. Messiness in its wake. This is a fact. The world is burning. Seasoned dust with praise, yellow must is now officially regular Albertan weather, blotting the sun to a red bingo marker in the sky. My grandmother would not have been proud. I used to dye my shaved head with blue polka dots, daubing on top of Kool-Aid made green fields. I clenched my fist inside my guts all the way to Delos. But I'm not brave like Socrates. I'm crying. Even if it rains, how are we supposed to eat vegetables marinated in smoke's bust? I rust from the inside out, breathing red. If there is no air, no oxygen to evade poisoning my lungs through the magic of transformation, even that will stop too. Hint at complexity's hope. 2 days later, Calgary in May looks like a Belgian summertime. Plants lush, greenly fed carbon monoxide wells, and I realize the plants will be fine. Bacteria thrive, spores regenerate, even if we, as Earth's latest experiment in a self-destructive colonial stingy haste for the fast life, abscond.
Did you hear those vivid references to ecological disruption, human fragility, and nature's resilience? To me, it offers both a warning and an invitation, a call to face the stark realities of the environmental crisis, while at the same time honoring the profound interconnectedness of life. There's a direct challenge in this poem to consider what it means to live in harmony with Mother Earth and with one another. To me, I hear a distinct call asking how we, as Calgary Unitarians, can embody this harmony in our values, in our practices, and in our actions. The sacredness of Mother Earth is a truth that is echoed in many traditions. Indigenous wisdom teaches us to see the land as alive, imbued with memory, community, spirit. That's where the ancestors live. This interconnectedness is also affirmed by science. For instance, in Finding the Mother Tree, Suzanne Simard, a gorgeous book, by the way, if you haven't read it, sees the land. I lost it. Suzanne Simard reveals the intricate network through which the forests thrive, showing how mother trees nurture younger ones by sharing nutrients and knowledge. When I read the book, I was reminded that very clearly we too are part of a vast web of life, bound not only to each other, but to all of Mother Earth and all of the beings who have their living and breathing and swimming in it, in her. Yet embracing this interconnectedness is not easy. It requires confronting hard truths about the stories of separation, colonialism, exploitation that has caused so much harm. The line, "What is lost in the severing," brings upon me the weight of disconnection. That disconnection is discomforting, to say the least. And as we talked about last week, that discomfort is simply part of the evolution of life, of creation itself. And I see it as an invitation to heal, to mend what has been broken, to grow. I take comfort in the resilience of Mother Earth and the hope that she offers. On my darkest days, when the challenges of my life feel overwhelming, I am reminded that life endures. Life transforms. However slow, but it is possible. These days, and I know this might be wishful thinking on my part, I'm just saying this, but as I turn from Deerfoot onto 16th Avenue to come here, there's this bank, this hillside bank, and on that hillside bank there are trees. And when I look at those trees, you know what I see? I see this week the slight tinge of a pale green or a pale yellow. I know, it's wishful thinking, isn't it? It's there, though, in my mind. I see it. And that gives me hope. I believe that we are stronger together. This responsibility that we carry isn't just mine, it's not just yours, it's ours, shared in unity and love. Even small actions taken collectively can ripple outward to create meaningful change. Whether it's offering land acknowledgements with intention, working for climate justice, advocating for the Indigenous gathering place by writing your city councillor and making sure that they follow through on their promises, supporting the Green Line and being built, right to your provincial MLAs. Any of these actions embodies hope, courage, and choosing connection over division. As we face an uncertain global future, I trust in the resilience of life and our capacity for growth. And as we listen to another of Adrian's poems, I invite you to reflect on the stories that we carry in our hearts, stories that connect us one to the other, stories that connect us to Mother Earth and the legacies that we inherit.
Buried sand. There are many ways to tell the story, a medley of longing. Buried at the base of the river is sand, slips through memory sunflower fields, squirrels chomping still, I feel compelled to grow. Baba shelling peas on the back porch, chicken shit wheat fields waving golden sun. Dot, everything is illuminated, craving marrow ancestors' homes. Manifest gardening, ripe burriaki tracks. Trees so thick, arms quarter distance, hugging other realms, slow flowing rivers and green. This ocean is also singing bones on others' ancestral homes. What is lost in the severing? Blood passed between words. We use 7 treaties alive across fertile fields, coveted Ukraine overlords plunder jealous peasantry. Would my DNA lie buried beneath bullets of hate? Far to my right, I feel the rising wings of autocratic buried beasts, whirling a slow, blinding storm, whiteout, not auto-corrected, a repeated error, flashing red. I owe it to my ancestors to do all I can to ensure the fruits of my labor, pulled up by the roots, don't, in turn, sever and supplant indigenous lands, lines by my own hands. Every time I grow a carrot, share it.
What struck me about this poem is how beautifully it weaves together the themes of longing, of memory, and the weight of history, reminding us that while each of us has a personal story, our stories are interconnected. It shows me just how much my story weaves with yours and others, and ultimately connecting us to the larger narrative of the earth and all of her inhabitants. As Unitarian Universalists, we have a unique opportunity and a deep responsibility to foster unity by drawing wisdom from diverse spiritual and scientific perspectives. And I believe that it's this sense of separateness that often fuels conflict. One of the hardest battles that we face is the conflict within ourselves, the painful disconnection from that capital S self, good orderly direction, the divine, the spirit, whatever it is, whatever name you have for it. It's that disconnection that leaves us feeling isolated, alone, afraid. And that's why I keep talking about why it's so important to have a spiritual practice, a practice that brings us into relationship with that divine source. Spiritual teachers like Ram Dass, Pema Chodron, and Thich Nhat Hanh remind us that healing begins with acknowledging our shared humanity. They guide us in opening our hearts to the interconnectedness of all of life, teaching us that transformation is possible when we take time to breathe together, to share our joys and our sorrows together, to become aware of who is around us. And Adrian reminds us that as we heal, we need to hold ourselves tenderly. As we heal those relationships within ourselves, with one another, or restoring our bonds with Mother Earth, that requires tenderness. Healing requires confronting the stories that divide us and courageously choosing to honor our collective journey. With UN World Interfaith Harmony Week beginning on Saturday night, mark your calendars, 7 p.m., City Hall, the opening ceremony is. That whole week invites us to listen, to learn, and to engage with diverse perspectives, allowing us to move beyond differences and build relationships that are rooted in understanding and compassion. This is humbling work. And my dear ones, the world has been waiting for you. Yes, you. I really do mean you. The world has been waiting for your energy to come alive. In this great web of life, Spirit has sent you an invitation and created a space just for you in this world at this time. Let us embrace the complexities of our stories and weave them together into something greater than ourselves. Let us hold one another with tenderness, with courage, nurturing the unity that sustains us all.
Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new. Spirit made a place for you where everything is new.
Spirit has made a place for you. It is here in this sacred community that we are invited into the opportunity to live out this interconnectedness and to create spaces of belonging while addressing the complexities of conflict. Our task is not only to nurture this sense of belonging for ourselves, but for all beings. We have a program here on Tuesday evenings, every second Tuesday, called Wellspring, and it's a deep dive into our 6 sources. And this last week, we were talking about process theology. Now, process theology offers a powerful vision of the divine, or spirit. It's one that invites us towards goodness and wholeness and belonging. They call it the gentle lure. I fell in love with this idea, the overarching idea, and as some people remarked in the program, It broke our brains as we tried to work our way through the science of it all. In short, process theology encourages us to meet one another with empathy and curiosity, to practice reframing our differences as opportunities for growth and reconciliation. What resonates with me about it is its understanding that the divine is evolving and learning alongside each one of us. Our choices, our relationships, our struggles shape the unfolding of the divine in the world. The divine is growing and changing just as we grow and change. And as we move into a world that faces increasing challenges of religious divides and environmental crises, just to mention a couple of things, process theology tells us that our actions matter. That every small act of love ripples out into the world, contributing to the healing of all of the beings of earth. Process theology calls us into oneness, recognizing the well-being of one impacts the well-being of us all. It challenges us to consider our choices because they're not made just for ourselves. We need to make them for Mother Earth and for future generations. We have a sacred responsibility as caretakers. The divine is present in each and every person, in each and every moment, in each and every relationship, in each breath. It calls to us to awaken to the sacredness in ourselves and in each other. We are the ones that we've been waiting for, and together we respond to this sacred call.
This poem is called Starborn, We Touch Ground. And the first line is by Francis Weller from his book about grief, which is amazing. Grief and gratitude are two hands of life clapping as we stand in ovation to everything passing through. We drink stars in the oxygen of our breath, reuniting molecules of time. The river of grief flows one way through my veins, and gratitude cycles in confluence. Looming death makes you value all that is living in and around you. As a teen, a bottle of pills resurrected everything that was dead in me. I came to appreciate every beautiful experience that happened to me after that as something that would have never been had the pills completed their mission. We cannot hold life. It holds us as everything we hold dear slips through our fingers and we are left gasping, grasping, bearing witness to our ever-shifting ground. We've colonized our bodies and minds like the earth. I just want to lie down naked in her wet body and worship. Reconnect myself to everything that ever was and will be. My molecules disintegrating into stars. We come, star-born, and return to that mystery. Eventually. No need to rush, but blush as each of my bare feet touches down and kisses the ground.
We have been gently called to live with open hearts and nurture the sacred, interconnected world we share. And we are the ones we've been waiting for. This is our time. Let us embrace our stories, our shared humanity and the resilience of the earth. May we find courage to mend what is broken, choose connection over division, and move boldly into our role as stewards of belonging. Through every act of love, let us be the one to weave a world of hope, healing, answering the Spirit's call to unity. The work is ours. The time is now. Amen. Namaste. Blessed be.
Our closing song today is We Are the Ones by Matt Meyer. And if you don't know it, it's really easy. Can you give me an F? We are the ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. And we're going to go a whole bunch of times here. Would you give us a beat, kind sir? We are the ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. Rise in body or spirit, ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we are the ones, we've been waiting. We are the ones, we've been waiting for. We are the ones 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 we've been waiting.
I just want to say thank you to Adrian for such beautiful poetry. My dear ones, consider this. You, each one of you, by being here this morning, whether you're in person or online, have received an engraved invitation by Spirit to live with open hearts, to honor the sacredness of this interconnected world, and to embrace our shared humanity and the resilience of Mother Earth. As we go forth from this sacred space, may we let every act reflect the light of this love, honoring this invitation to mend what is broken, nurture belonging, and embody Spirit's call to unity and hope.
So as we extinguish this flame, let each of us reach out to grasp a spark of it and place it in our hearts so that we may carry its light within us. We do this to illuminate the paths of inclusivity and interconnectedness in our lives and communities. Together, may we weave unity from our diverse journeys, honoring the sacred threads that bind us to each other and the earth. Here, now, and always, may the light of our unity guide us forward. Please join us next week for our Sunday service at 10:30, where we move on to a new sermon series topic. Reverend Samaya will be with us as we begin a month-long exploration on the gifts of justice and equity. Next Sunday's service looks at the question, how can we, as Calgary Unitarians, envision a shared future to build a church of belonging that meets our needs while fostering a vibrant, inclusive, and sustainable community? And for members, please be sure to stay after the service next week for a special congregational meeting at noon as we vote on a motion to stay in the building. And for those of you who are here in person, please join us for coffee and tea and snacks right after the service in Wickenden. I unfortunately will not be here as I'm rushing off to work at noon. My apologies. And then make your way back here in this space at noon for our monthly congregational conversation. So that's today at noon. This is an informal conversation with the leadership of Calgary Unitarians about the life of this congregation. For those of you who are attending the service online, please leave this meeting after the service and join with others who are also attending online for conversations. So that's the second Zoom link. I was confused many times on Zoom, so you can't stay on the same link. The Zoom link is being placed in the chat by our AV folks. That link will be the same one. So the coffee and conversation link on Zoom is the same one you will use to attend the congregational conversation at noon. That one is the same. And now let's all turn and wave to say hello to everyone on Zoom. So, yeah.
So I might Jasmine Scott's birthday. And she didn't. I worked with a priest years ago. If that happened, then we have to once every couple of services. She had pause and say his line again, and if it still wasn't on, or to say it even louder, like just drawing attention to it. It's bringing up anyway. So Reverend Smile kept going. Okay, so you essentially need to hovering over the okay, that's really another thing. All right, what else from y'all?
We have a checklist that's coming. I didn't have it, but I didn't have it on.
I'm just knowledge all that has not.
So now I know that I need to have a lot of moments on Zoom in order for the drinking to review and it's like.
Okay.
So that's what it's about.
Okay. So then what was the actual consequence?
Just basically people to hear these beautiful voices.
At all during the service?
It was your, sorry, it was your piano that they played through.
Okay, so let me just, I just want to make sure that I record this safely. So like, without that checklist / training, it was Javin's piano mic and the choir mic. Didn't transmit sound to Zoom.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's approaching.
That should be that soon.
What we've done, Gavin, is both the audio and video have updated the checklist.
Okay.
And before any event, what we're going to do is
Okay, I'll get
give each other the checklist.
good.
And query each other, have you done this? Have you done this? So that's a procedure.
Hold on, ladies. Okay, so pre-service, that's invaluable. Essentially to ensure all systems fail. So is this accurate? These audio and video checkers are being updated, and eventually, both operators are going to, like airline pilots, do a checklist run down together, pre-service, pressure to walk through to ensure all systems fail. Okay, good. I think that's great. Thanks. Anything else? Felt really smooth today. And I felt like we were connected.
Sorry. Sophie is in the next one.
Cool beans.
Unrelated
Okay, good.
question. I'm struggling with sleeping. I'm wondering if I could listen to the sleep
For cabaret? Yeah. Let's have you set up a time. Okay, that's great. What are you thinking of,
Well, the one song that I'm really comfortable with is I Take My Search.
okay, I don't know, but I don't know the exact size. I had a sense of the lyrics and I'm going to add you to the list. And what I'm going to do for this next week, more or less, what I think I'm going to do is probably, I would, not really on a